On the right. On the right.
Would you share a little bit about what is story pedagogy and how we can leverage that for the students in this context?
Story pedagogy is an educational framework. So I don't think I can say it in a few minutes. But let me try to see if we can. Uh, I may not be saying anything that surprises you, but maybe something surprises you. The fact is that, the story can teach maths and science and geography and history. The story can link all these things and make it into a single knowledge, which can then transcend the short term memory. Okay. So, for instance, in our normal classroom, what happens is I'm in, if you have a tiled mosaic floor, then, I'm in this tile over here, and then the bell rings, and I go into another tile. So, I am in this maths class, which is one tile. The bell rings, and I go into my social sciences class. Now, the child forgets the math that she's been learning when she's going into the social science class. Okay. The bell is the one which signifies that, okay, I forget this and I'm moving to that. Now, what we are doing in story pedagogy is we have a story for the whole school. So when you say that you go from preschool to high school, we are saying that if there is the same story, then every child who understands is able to help another child who doesn't understand. So the big idea that is there is able to transcend the boundary of, whether it's a maths class or a science class. It becomes knowledge. It becomes Purna Siksha. I use the word Purna Siksha quite often. Okay. So when you're looking at this holistic knowledge, then joining the dots for the child becomes very, very easy. So that's one thing that we do very nicely. The main thing is, when
अगर आपने अभी तक हमारे पॉडकास्ट चैनल पेरेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज़ आप इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। ये हमें मोटिवेट करता है हम चैनल पे और गेस्ट को लाए। ये एक ईजी टास्क नहीं होता है, हमें टाइम लगता है गेस्ट से पार्टनरशिप्स करने में, उनके साथ ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करने में कि हम कैसे पेरेंट की मदद कर सकते हैं, हम पेरेंट को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं, उनकी जर्नी के साथ ही बन सकते हैं। बट अगर आप हमारा साथ देते रहेंगे तो हम भी मोटिवेटेड रहेंगे, एनकरेज रहेंगे कि हमें अलग अलग तरीके का कॉन्टेंट पेरेंटिंग पे, चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट पे, स्कूलिंग पे लाना है और सब पेरेंट्स की यहाँ पे सब पेरेंट्स को यहाँ पे सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करना है और उनके लिए इस पेरेंटिंग जर्नी को ईजी बनाना है।
I look at, and this story pedagogy has its basis also in the Natya Shastra. I started learning Bharatanatyam when I was, I think, 6 years old or something like that. And, I've got the Sangeet Natak Academy fellowship and I've performed all over the place. I've given a lot of performances and things like that. But what has remained with me is the Bharatanatyam Shastra and the core learnings of that. And I see Bharatanatyam Shastra as a treatise on communication, not just of dance. Okay. It's not just of Sanskrit theatre. It is a communication tool. So when I look at it as a communication tool, there are a few things that, Bharata says. Whether it's also single person, many people, man, woman, we don't know any of these things. But we know that it's 2000 years old. The written treatise, no other country has a written treatise like we have, which is the Bharatanatyam Shastra. Okay. So when you read it, there are a few principles that come in front of you. And these are embedded in story pedagogy. Again, what happens is I can't explain it because that will need, 3-4 hours and you have to understand it and everything. But it comes from, story pedagogy comes from 3 sources. Okay. It comes from story pedagogy. It comes from the Bharatanatyam Shastra. It comes from my understanding of poverty, understanding of children in poverty and how can we bring them out of poverty. So we have a very good structure which goes from philosophy to content, to classroom practices, to continuous assessment. We take this and we use it to educate, train our teachers and our communities. So it becomes a holistic thing. The child is learning something in the school and learning something in the community, and they both merge for the child. So it goes from short term to long term. Okay. So this trajectory that we have from philosophy to development of material to classroom practices to assessment, continuous assessment, is the journey which every teacher and reading mentor in Katha takes. And we help them to do it. And today we are working with a lot of partners, and this is what we are working with them on. We have about 250, 350 partners with us. We're all small non-profits. And we are saying, how can we help them? There's no cost involved, no paisa cost involved in it. They have to spend time, they have to learn, but there's no money cost involved in it. But of course, it's online. So they have to have a connectivity and things like that. But the story pedagogy, because it has a very structured and it has a rubric for assessment, it's called the Ruchi rubric. Because, when I work with teachers come and say, Didi, इनके लिए रुचि नहीं है, पढ़ने में रुचि नहीं है. I said, रुचि का मतलब क्या है? Ruchi is when I can recognize whether it's an emotion, whether I'm going too much into it, I'm wasting your time actually.
No, ma'am. I'm learning, and I think it's a very important point. Is learning
Okay.
very knowledge.
So, Ruchi is when I'm recognizing what I am looking at. We link it up with reading the world. Before the child starts reading a book, the child has to know how to read the world. Okay. So, we teach the child how to read the world using the 5 senses. What all she experiences. So, what does she touch and what does she experience from that? What does she see? What does she taste? So, what are the different tastes that she can get to? And then from that, other stories coming. What can she hear? When she closes her eyes, what can she hear? Can she hear some other sound? And it leads to a lot of experiences. We even find out if a child is able to hear properly, see properly. It goes into that also. Because we are looking at a holistic experience. This comes from the Katha holistic early learning. We call it KALE. Katha holistic early learning. Okay. And the whole thing is KALE, and our teacher training is called KALTE. So it's all play. Just keep playing. Okay. So this is at the basis of story pedagogy. Okay. So when we say that, the child learns to recognize, learns to use, maybe, in speaking, in storytelling, maybe, the child knows how to write, but maybe the child knows how to read, maybe the child knows how to storytell. So what we've done is here in the use, we have introduced one thing. This happened in the 1990s. Okay. So NCERT says LSRW. You must know that. Okay. Listen, speak, read and write. Now, from the 90s in Katha, we say LSSRW, storytell. It's in the center. Because when a child learns how to tell a story, what is the meaning behind the story, that becomes very clear to the child. Because the child has to understand it to be able to tell the story. The child has to have the sequence in mind before telling the story. So, all these things which, can be taught in a classroom as a strategy, reading strategy, comes naturally to the child when they are doing these things. Okay. So, use becomes a very important thing where the LSSRW. So, the S in the center, I write a big S in the center when I'm writing LSSRW. Storytelling, one which links the listen, speak with the read and write. That becomes the operative word for Katha in story pedagogy. That happens, the chi part of it comes in, which is comprehend holistically and intuitively. So when I'm reading, all of us do that. Yesterday I was reading something and I didn't understand the word. I look at the context over there, I look at the page and I say, ho sakta hai, this is the meaning for it. Okay. That is coming from my intuitive space. Intuitively, I'm thinking that this is the thing. Holistic is when I've read a whole of physics, I'm doing my physics thing and, I come across this word photosynthesis in another space. Say it's coming in my math space, photosynthesis. I know that holistically, I have learned it in some other place. I told you about joining the dots and moving from one thing to another. So when I'm moving into that other place and then I'm told about, shadows, and I know shadows, I've learned in my story about a shadow. But when I go into my geometry, I know about the shadow, because how does the shadow think? How can I measure the shadow to know the height of the building? So the shadow is what connects up that knowledge. Okay. Now, because it's coming from a story, the chi comes in, and we are saying that you comprehend holistically and intuitively. So a child knows the word tomato, for instance. So she's reading that word in the classroom, and she knows. When she's walking in the street and she's going with the parents and they're seeing a place where they are serving soup, and they walk in there, she's able to say, this is tomato soup. I want tomato soup. Okay. How does she say that? Because she's read it in the school. So it's a holistic, intuitive thing that is coming. So when you say ruchi, unless the child is able to recognize, use, and comprehend holistically and intuitively, and that happens intuitively. Has to be an intuitive grammar. It has to be an intuitive understanding of story, of language. When that happens, magic happens. Okay. And this is what we train our people, our teachers in, and our children to read. So these are the strategies that we use. When we talk about reading, you have reading strategies. And we use reading strategies which are part of story pedagogy. So we use the story for an internal understanding of the story. We use the story to come up with, these strategies that the child can use in the long term to be a lifelong learner. Okay. And we use the story as a thing which creates imagination, a sense of wonder, a sense of challenge, a sense of saying, why I get outraged by a story. In real life, I cannot be. Okay. But I come into that space of looking at another and saying, that child is going through this and this is not right. It's not me going through it. Okay. It's part of Greek storytelling that they have. So basically, it's a coming together of all these things. And of course, I've been a writer for ages. I think I first wrote my story when I was in school, I think, and I've been a writer from then. So the art and craft of a storyteller. So it is my, the Natya Shastra. I wanted to do my PhD in Natya Shastra at one time. Okay. And but then I had 2 children, so I didn't have somebody who can. My mother was busy, my mother-in-law was busy, and so I could not take the time to go and do my PhD. But I've done a lot of deep reading in the Natya Shastra. So it's a Natya Shastra. It is poverty and the geography of poverty. I call it the geography of poverty that we have in our country. So that, and the third thing is my own skills as a storyteller and as a story writer, because a writer has to be a storyteller. So all these things have gone together to form the story pedagogy that we use in Katha.
Or when you said that when you use the word intuitiveness and how the intuitiveness is translated into learning, knowledge, and everything, like completely, like 100% resonate with it. And the reason I resonate with it is because in 2019-20, we opened one preschool in Rajpur called Chhatarpur, Delhi. And there we were using a play pedagogy, and they were early kids. And every day we were just engaging them into some kind of activity at play, and they don't even know like if some learning is happening. It is just a play. What kind of school it is, where we are not making study, sit and do this or do that, turn their feet to explore and experience the campus, fun campus which we created, catering to their 5 senses. And we did it for a year, and when at the end of the year we are see like how translated we do the learning outcomes, and we were like surprised. So that was our vision, to do that the students should not be aware that they are studying or they are learning, but they should be focused on playing, and it will automatically translate it into some learning.